Do you want to be part of something bigger? At Siemens, we use AI to transform the everyday. Our engineering solutions drive innovation and change. We're leading in technology and building a sustainable future. Join Siemens and make an impact to transform the everyday. Apply now and be part of something extraordinary. Visit siemens.co.in/careers.
You are listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, my favorite podcast to listen to on long flights across the galaxy.
This is the way.
We're wanted men.
Welcome to episode 203 of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. It's Glenn, and with me as always is Jason.
Hi, Glenn. How are you doing today?
We're good. I'm good. Got to start it like a radio show every now and again.
I'm going to turn on some soft listening for you for the next hour. First up, we've got Elton John, and this is Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
I miss not having a Star Wars show this week.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd like some mediocre Star Wars.
Yeah, it's better than no Star Wars.
Said no one ever. Is it, though? Is it?
Well, is it? Sometimes. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think.
Paying bills?
What are we? Huh?
Are you still paying bills?
Yeah, kind of.
What was your question?
I'm still paying bills. My wife. Hold on a minute. Babe, I texted you that code. Oh, she got it. All right, cool. We're paying bills. My wife texted me. That's why everything's kind of weird right now. But no, I do miss new Star Wars content because we're back to watching crappy TV. I watched La Brea this morning because there was nothing else to watch.
I watched that.
House of Dragons is pretty awesome, but now The Boys is over and everything we're kind of waiting until like August for everything to crank back up again.
Yeah, for Skeleton Crew.
Oh,
Skeleton Crew's in December. Sorry.
December? Okay, but all the shows that it feels like all the other good shows are starting to come back. All the networks shows are coming back here in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But that also means back to school, which means your wife's got to go back to work.
Yeah. She already has.
Oh.
I had an exciting afternoon.
Yeah? What happened?
Back in the spring, someone listed on eBay a prototype of the Action Fleet, what are they called? Battle Packs, number 15. It's the Endor one with Han in his trench coat, Luke in his gray. It's a gray what do you call it? The tunic, maybe?
Yeah.
Gray and black.
Right.
It comes with the Force Ghosts of Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin, and he listed it on eBay for $350. So I made him an offer for was it $200 at the time? And he declined it. And then he listed it for $300. I made a $150 offer. He declined it. And then it was been sitting there for $150. So I last Saturday, I made him an offer for $75. And immediately declined. It said, you need to make an offer of $99 or more.
Right.
So then the next day, it just gets listed on eBay. For the minimum bid was $10. So I went ahead and bid. And I watched it all week. And I just got it this afternoon for $41.
Oh, my God.
$41.
Dude, that's better than my eBay stories.
I know, for a prototype.
I was watching 3 of them on eBay the other night, and it was a bunch of Waterworld photos, and the guy had thrown some Bill and Ted, like a Billy the Kid prototype photos in there with it for some reason.
Yeah.
And there was some wax sculpts of galactic heroes, and then there was also some micro collection, the vintage micro collection, unpainted ones. and I had bid on all of them and lost all of them by like, I was the underbidder on all of them because you were watching them and they all got sniped. And
Yeah.
they went for cheap, quote unquote. I think the 2 wax sculpts went for $120, which, or 130 or something, where they should have been $400 or $500. I've seen them go for that. The pictures went for like $130, $140. I mean, the stuff went for so cheap. I was like, I should have just either found a sniping tool or just bid up more. But I think it was just at the point, no matter what I bid, somebody had sniped it for me. And then like the micro collection stuff probably went for $50, maybe for 3. No, it didn't even, it went for like 30 or $40 unpainted micro collection stuff. So it was very aggravating. I'm glad to see you got a win on eBay because for
Well, I
me,
did use a sniping tool.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I put in a total of $77.33 as my highest bid, and I got it
Right.
for $41. But it was a little stressful to put my faith into an app that I had never used before because I'm watching it on the eBay app. Come down, the time started, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It counted down all the way to 1, and it just ended. And I didn't get any notifications. Sometimes I get a notification on my watch. Sorry, you didn't win this one. You're outbid, or congratulations, you won. Nothing happened. And so I was just like, what is going on? Exited the app, went back in, and said, congratulations, you won for $41. I'm like,
No.
yeah.
So have you conceded your hate of the sniping tool and just like it's a necessary evil?
I mean, it's not that I hate it. I just get frustrated by them because I don't win. But now that I'm winning, I'm okay with it. Isn't that how it
was
goes?
my question. I should have
Yes.
used the sniping tool because I mean, there is one that you can use for free. And those were bad. And I wanted those wax sculpts enough, but I've got money. I still have pre-orders that I'm waiting for Big Bad Toy Store to come through that I know those are going to be several $100s. And I'm just I'm trying to hold my money a little bit.
Yeah, I get that. But I think in a situation like wax sculpts, I would cancel my big bad order because you'll find those somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're not going to find wax sculpts anywhere else.
I should have, and they'd been cut, but it wasn't. I probably should have. I don't know. I'm sure they'll pop back up, but it kind of I kicked myself because it's a wax sculpt, and it'd have been cool to have some wax sculpt Galactic Heroes, and they went for dirt cheap. So,
well, San Diego Comic-Con is happening right now, and Hasbro passed out a new poster. They've been doing this for the past couple celebrations in London and San Diego Comic-Con. This time it was a little bit different than previous years. It doesn't have the same silver racetrack border that the other posters have. This one is just a shot of the armor and the forge. So it's promoting that new playset that they've showed off at San Diego Comic-Con. But someone listed it for $20. And in the past, I've had to spend up to like $50 for some of the more rare and in-demand ones. So for $20, I picked up that poster as well. I'm just missing 2 from the original time because they just pass them out. They don't announce them online, say, hey, stop by the booth at 11 a.m. and you'll get a poster. They just start passing them out. So there's no communication as to how many to collect. But it seems like this year it's just the one poster. They also been passing out posters designed by Tom Whalen. Tom Whalen, as you know, did the artwork for the lunchbox at Rogue Fun.
yeah.
And he designed
No way. We had lunchboxes at Rogue Fun.
Yeah, he designed the entire Hasbro booth. I was just floored. Like, how did we get this guy?
And I was looking at the Hasbro booth, and I'm like, I wonder if he took any of the designs he made for us and added it in. But I didn't see anything.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, we had that on our lunchbox.
Mm-hmm.
You drinking whiskey?
It's an old fashioned. It's
Old
Buffalo Trace.
fashioned.
It's whiskey.
I'm drinking coffee.
I also some water here. But is that I also got the vintage collection Cal Kestis in his Imperial uniform. I guess it was from the last 5 minutes of the last game there, but I have it.
Yeah. Now I'm kicking myself for not upping those.
Oh, this is a
sculpts.
weird episode. You're paying bills. You're coming down on yourself.
It's fine. stuff will pop up, and I know I've got other. I'm always worried sometimes because, like I said, you got other things in the works, and you're right. For wax sculpts, I should have upped my bid and freaking did it. But
All right,
anyway,
to follow up from last week, Pedro Pascal posted on Instagram, if you remember, all Fantastic Four actors together. No, last week I reported that they did some emergency filming for like 3 weeks for Mandalorian and Grogu.
yes,
This week, Pedro posted on Instagram that all Fantastic Four actors were together and they start filming Tuesday when this episode dropped on, what was it, July 30th is when they start filming.
uh-huh.
So it just gives more credence to the idea that he was filming something else right before this, because principal photography hasn't started on Mando and Grogu yet.
Right. I mean, all they got to do is show him with his helmet off.
Yeah.
Okay, we need you to do a close up of you hugging Baby Yoda. Give him a kiss.
If you spend 3 weeks, I mean, that's quite a bit of time. I know it's not 9. Sometimes, I mean, some of these movies take like 4 or 5 months
Right.
to film, but maybe he's in some extensive scenes.
He could be. I mean, yeah, it would be real simple for them. I mean, especially with the technology, they could just have him film something and throw it in. Like all of a sudden something happens in the background and then they show him giving a thumbs up.
Something like that.
They show a picture of him giving a thumbs up.
So, but still exciting. I'm happy to get a new Star Wars movie because I missed that.
Yeah.
Star Wars is a cinematic experience, as I've said before, and I just need it back on the screen.
Yeah, actually, I went to my first like quote unquote movie for a long time last night. I was kind of shocked at how much they cost nowadays.
That is a pet peeve of mine.
Mhm.
I used to be in a box office, and this was back when movies were like $5.50 for the matinee, $7.75 for the evening.
Mhm.
And people would be like, I'd want one for whatever the movie is. Nurse Betty. Remember that?
Nurse
The
Betty.
Grinch. The Grinch. The
Okay.
Grinch
Yeah.
came out when I was in the theater. Anyways, I'd be like, okay, that's $15.50 or $16, whatever the case was. And they'd be like, I just want to see the movie, not buy it. And then the next person would come and then they would say the exact same thing. I just want to see the movie, not buy it. And I was just getting more and more tired of people complaining about the prices of the movies. If you don't want to go see the movie, then don't go see the movie. It's
Well, I
expensive.
went. It was like $18 to go see a movie.
I just want to see the movie. I don't want to download and buy it.
Yeah. Well, that's like me when I'm working on a coffee machine. They're like, hey, could you put Bailey's in that thing? I'm like, dude, if I had $1 for every time somebody asked me to put Bailey's in their coffee machine, I wouldn't be working here anymore.
I see that happening now every place. And they all think that, and the frustrating thing is they all think they're clever.
Right.
They all think they're funny.
Right. When I was filling vending machines, I'd go to I'd have the Roswell Police Department, and there was this one guy that worked there. Every time he'd see me, he'd be like, hey, could you put Bud Light in there?
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I went to see Deadpool last night, and I was going to talk about it, but you hadn't seen it yet, and you're
Not till
planning on
Tuesday.
seeing it. So
Not
we'll
till
talk about
Tuesday.
it next week.
Cool.
Yeah. It's got some, yeah.
May 20.
Huh?
Oh, you got stuff to say about it? I thought we were
I
gonna
do
see
have
it.
stuff to say about it, but I'll discuss it next week because I had there's a yay moment in it for me.
May 2026 is going to be pretty awesome with the new Avengers movie and a Star Wars movie coming out within 3 weeks of each other.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be Avengers Doomsday, which is the one where Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Victor Von Doom, allegedly.
How are they doing there? Now it's a multiverse, right?
Yeah, the Fantastic Four are in a completely different universe.
Oh, okay. So it's a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four. And I'm assuming Galactus comes and destroys the world and they shift over into another multiverse, and that's how they get pulled into the MCU.
Okay.
Just making an assumption there because it is almost like a Tomorrowland kind of movie where it's going to be set in the 60s, but it's going to be like that optimistic sci-fi futuristic Tomorrowland aesthetic.
Okay.
It's going to be heavily stylized, but I assume that's going to happen. And I guess maybe I hope Tony Stark has been Dr. Doom in the past. And Dr. Doom has, so like Tony has put on Dr. Doom's mask, and then Dr. Doom has put on Iron Man's suit.
Okay.
So Tony has become Doctor Doom, and I hope it's not Tony Stark variant becoming Doctor Doom.
Mhm.
I hope it's Victor Von Doom. And that'll lead into Secret Wars, which is where the multiverse, I would imagine, is going to collapse back into one singular universe.
Right.
But with all that said, if it is Tony Stark as Doctor Doom, I hope that after Secret Wars, the official real Victor Von Doom will show himself, and it won't be, MCU Tony Stark again, Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I never read any of the comic books because comic books it's very expensive and very hard to keep up with
Mm-hmm.
if you don't do it weekly.
But there was a little sense of like, is this desperation? The MCU has been faltering. You're going back to the Russo brothers to direct the Avengers movies,
Mhm.
and you've got Robert Downey Jr. coming back.
Yeah. Well, how much do you know about Deadpool without getting into it?
None. I've kept
Okay,
spoiler
cool.
free,
I will
so we're
keep
not
it.
talking about it.
Yes, I won't talk about it because there's stuff that happens that would make you believe that you're like, okay, because you've heard that they're using that to set up the MCU.
I haven't heard anything about it. I've kept
Okay.
myself completely
Well,
free
then
of
I will
spoilers.
shut up.
It doesn't
Hey,
seem like
Deadpool's
it.
in
You
it.
keep wanting to talk about it.
I do want to talk about it because the more I think about it, the more cool of a movie it is. But we'll wait till next week till we talk about it because
Thanks.
it's fun. It's a fun movie. I saw it in 3D, which I didn't know that it was going to be in 3D, so that was kind of a shock to me. But it turned out to be pretty cool. All right, moving on. Move along. So Robert Downey Jr., Doctor Doom,
Yep.
and yeah, the San Diego Comic-Con stuff looked pretty cool.
Except if you were at the Jazzwares panels, that seems to be pretty sad. They only showed off Series 6 with two new vehicles that are not part of Series 6. It's just two new vehicles, the V-19 Torrent and Kylo's TIE Silencer from The Last Jedi. Those are the only two, or maybe it was Rise of Skywalker. I can't remember. Those are the only two. I think it's The Last Jedi. Those are the only two new things they showed off. Everything else, like we've been seeing online, Series 6 come in, and it had the Kenner decoed X-Wing, and that's the big one. But basically, we've seen these hitting the store shelves. So this is like the official first reveal, even though it's not the first time we've seen it.
Right.
But still, like, there's nothing else beyond that. There's nothing to share, which was kind of eye-raising. Like, is Star Wars so soft that, and those things are not selling through, and it's just going to be even more compounded now that people have started to get around the registration lock and the street date, and they start to sell them for like whatever, $5, $3. People have been posting that online.
Yeah.
But as far as the target inventory goes, I've been talking too much. They still have it in stock because they had to override it.
Right.
And so now they're not going to be automatically triggered to increase inventory because as far as those computers show, there's 4 on the shelf, even though those 4 have already been sold. The target systems are going to think that there's 4 on the shelf, so we don't need to order more inventory.
Right. Well, that was the theory as to why TVC wasn't selling through, because you had all the Landos sitting there. So that as far as Target was concerned, they had 15 units sitting on the shelf, even though they were 15 Landos. They didn't care because it was 15 units.
Yeah.
So why order more when we have 15 of them sitting on the shelf? And they hadn't been selling through.
Right.
I don't know, dude. It's a scary time because I'm sure we're going to talk about the Rattler too, right?
Yeah, I was going to get into that before I
Yeah.
started doing the Hasbro reveals, but
Okay, but yeah, it's frustrating. It's a scary time for Star Wars when the Haslab Rattler, GI Joe Rattler, funds in like a half a day.
yeah. So to finish up San Diego, Jazzwares.
Right,
San Diego.
Jazzwares.
They had their new exclusive, which seems to be it was the Vector kind of art. It was packaged in an arcade kind of cabinet. So it's supposed to be like the arcade version of the Star Wars from back in the early 70s, 80s.
Right.
And it's got a green X-Wing and a red TIE fighter. And they look pretty cool. I guess it's been easier to get those this year. It hasn't been a cluster. So congratulations to Jazzwares for figuring that out. But it just doesn't look good for the line right now, I guess, when everything's heading to Ross. A lot of things are heading to Ross. And there's just a lack of communication.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
Hasbro released, so we're going to Hasbro real quick.
No, I thought yeah, if I could have got my hands on those are some really awesome looking figures.
It's kind of
But
like
yeah.
Star Wars and Tron mashup.
Right. Well, it's straight out the video game, and back in the 80s, that video game was awesome.
Yeah.
So Hasbro.
Hasbro, leading up to SDCC, they revealed a few images, which I'm not sure why they do that because they've got a panel in 4 days. Why not just save it for the panel?
Right.
But they do it anyways. There's a Black Series Shriekhawk Trainers Pack. It's two of those blue Mandos. It's a Black Series, obviously. It's a Walmart exclusive. Then there's the TVC Shriekhawk 4-pack. It's four of the... There was that one episode where a Mando got kidnapped by a pterodactyl-looking thing,
Right.
and then the Mandos had to team up and go get them, and it's basically four of those Mandalorians, one's female. It's in a vintage 3-pack look design to it. You know,
cool.
you know the 3-packs?
Yeah.
So they put it in one of those, but it's a 4-pack, so it's a little bit bigger than a 3-pack now. It's just a cluster what they're doing. I mean, this could have been like the 4-packs that they've been doing, where they just package 4 figures together.
Right, in the little white box. That's what I thought they would do with the Mandalorians.
I mean, do they have like a dartboard at the office where they just throw things and be like, oh, let's do this one, a Canadian 12-pack. Oh, let's do this one, a box, a trainer, a builder pack, or a troop builder, because like the last one where they did the night stormtroopers with Captain Enoch.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been this 4-pack that they're making. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. They also revealed the TVC Imperial Hallway playset, which is an Amazon fan channel exclusive, which is a very interesting playset because it's just 4 black walls. And some of these playsets just scream of like, we need more inspiration. I know it's a key moment from the show, but it's just 4 dark walls. It's tough to see. And you need to buy 4 or 5 of them to make like the playset of the Imperial Star Destroyer.
Yeah, I was looking to see if I could find them, but I don't see them on the Hasbro website right now.
There's the TVC Mandalorian from the Imperial base. It's going to be a mainline figure, so it's not an exclusive, but it's like another Mando, and with it, another Bo-Katan. And she's got the Darksaber this time. But still, it's like, can we do something other than Mandalorians, please?
Well, they can do Ahsoka's.
Yes, and they did.
Ahsoka is the new Boba Fett.
Oh, it's already sold out.
Huh?
No, you can pre-order. I'll send it to you real quick. You're looking for the Imperial.
No, I was just looking for it. I was looking at so that I can have some
So
something to add to it. Huh?
I had thought about downloading all the photos, but my computer's been getting so slow that I didn't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
And showing them off on screen here, just maybe I should have done it. I'll do it next time. I'm sorry.
I'll start sending you the emails so you don't have to download them.
But then yes, as you were saying, we can get into the Rattler. Is it the Rattler or the Rattler?
I think it's the Rattler. Well, you forgot the IG-88 with Baby Yoda in it. Oh, so here comes another Baby Yoda.
No, that was part of the Hasbro panel.
Oh, we're not getting to that one yet?
We haven't got to that yet.
Oh, jeez.
They showed off their classified Rattler, which is something.
All right, let me get back to the Hasbro Pulse website so that I can look at this Rattler.
But it's got lights, it's got tons of accessories. It's gonna come with like two different figures and some patches that you could put on a jacket.
Right. So the first tier is the patches, and then the other 2 tiers are extra figures. But yeah, it's got interior and exterior lights. Why can't I understand we can't. I don't know. I'm almost at the point with these Hasbro Pulse Star Wars Hasbro Pulse stuff. It's like, just go all out. Let us spend the extra $600 or $100 put lights in the damn thing, and we'll be happier with it. Am I making, does that make sense, or is that bad?
I hear what you're saying. I have a couple thoughts. I've been talking a lot. Maybe I'll just dump it and get it over with.
Right. Well, no. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the Rattler right now. It's got a dozen bombs. It's got flame effects. It's got flame effects off the bombs. It's got damage. It's got lights. It's got a stand. It's got a 6-inch figure. And then you're gonna get at 1,100 backers, you get the patch set, which is already backed. 1,400, you get the get another figure, and then at 1,800 you get a Baroness figure.
Yeah, and this thing funded within 2 days. San Diego Comic-Con's not even over yet, and it's already funded.
And it's at $350. This would have probably been what, a $500 Star Wars release?
Yeah. So number one is that licensing fee, which I've heard is 21%. Somebody from Toylanta told me that, which is an insane amount of money, because when you think about it, again, sale barge, $500, 20% right off the top, $100.
Right.
So we had to pay $500 for a $400 item. And it feels like that for everything that they do Star Wars. You feel like you pay a little bit too much for this, for what it is, because Star Wars is getting, it's not as strong of a brand as, we've been saying this for a while. It's not as strong of a brand as it once was. Mm-hmm. And people aren't buying the figures anymore. And it's just too much money. And so I think it's more of a Lucasfilm problem. I think Lucasfilm needs to lower the licensing fee, especially for like Star Wars action figures, because when you look at the Rattler and the amount of creativity and what they're able to do with electronics and extra missiles, then you look at something like the Cantina, which doesn't have a roof over, I mean, yeah, from the inside, it has the roof inside of the alcoves, but there's nothing on top of it. So when you're looking at it from the top down, it just feels like an incomplete piece. Like, nah, that would have been an additional $20, so we decided not to do it.
Right. I think they cut too many corners on the Cantina, and it shows.
Yeah. There should have been a button for, if not for lights, because they brought it up to the point where there's translucent lights. We just can't put any electronics behind it. There's openings for that. And they showed off like, hey, if you go to your local hobby, Michael's, hobby place, and you get tea lights, you'll fit right inside and you can light it yourself.
Right. See, I don't necessarily have a problem with that as far as the little stands go, because those things, I mean, I think that would be easier just to throw a tea light in there personally. Because then if the tea light fails, you can fix it. But the main bar should have had lights in it.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and it's not that hard, because I'm looking at the lights on this thing, on the Rattler, and it looks like I mean, I've seen it done to where they just run like some plastic through the toy, and it's only one light source, and that it feeds everything through the translucent thing that they do.
Yeah. The other thing to consider is that even though it's probably okay to compare the Rattler with the Cantina, the Rattler's more in a Black Series scale than TVC.
Right.
And so there's never been a successful TVC a campaign. Comparatively, if they were to do that with an X-Wing, I think that would fund. However, it would be a $500 thing because of licensing fees. It should come with electronics. It should come with a Luke. It should come with an R2. If you want to include well, there's no patches in Star Wars, but they have their data sticks that you could put in your X-Wing costume. But still, like, you wouldn't get a $350 X-Wing. You would have to get a $450 X-Wing. And is that fair to the fans? Is that something people would want? We can try an A-Wing, because an A-Wing is smaller. I don't know. It's just, the Rancor failed, and that was $350. So it's like, what is going on with Star Wars?
Right. No, it feels like Hasbro can't get out of their own way with Star Wars. Now, granted, we're not watching the GI Joe stuff, but I thought that GI Joe, they kind of, maybe this had leaked a little bit pre-hand, but I don't know. I think I remember seeing something about, they're releasing the Rattler at
Yes.
So it may have leaked a little bit. So maybe that's something that, Hasbro just, that's what they do. But no, this compared to, I mean, I know it's apples and oranges, but when you look at the Rattler, even just as a toy etic, versus the Cantina, it has been like this for every release that they've done for GI Joe. That you look at that release and you're just like, I am not a GI Joe fan, but that thing is awesome.
Yeah. I look at it and I feel nothing because it's not Star Wars. I'll be honest, like that's the honest truth. I look at it, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I hope to see one day because I think it would be cool to look at for a Black Series scale. Was it a Tommy Hawk? It's not a Tommy Hawk.
I don't know what kind of ship it is.
It's a pretty cool plane, and congratulations to the Joe collectors. Without that licensing fee, it just goes to show that maybe Hasbro can do stuff special, and they can experiment a little bit, offer something outside of the box.
I mean, but like the wings, I'm looking at it right now. The wings fold up, they move up and down. They go a complete 180, so you can shoot straight up. I mean, it's a badass looking ship. And they did that. They did that with the Hiss tank, and they did it with their F-16 or whatever, their GI Joe fighter. They all looked incredible. And they were all in the $350 range.
And it funded in 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even the stand it comes with, they did stupid that the stand has places where you could put the missiles on it. Come on, Lucasfilm or Hasbro, let's fix this.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me talk about the panel.
Talk about the panel.
So they revealed a bunch of stuff. Black Series, you get Venestra with a purple lightsaber, but no whip. So it's only just like a regular lightsaber. You get a Black Series battle droid with the Stap. So this is something they announced. It's going to be the Stap vehicle, which is almost like a upright bike that the battle droids rode in on episode 1. It's going to be a HasCon exclusive September this fall. So it's a cool looking thing. It's very nostalgic. I like it, and I kind of want it just because of that nostalgia factor, but maybe I'll open it because I'm really done with Black Series.
You get frustrated when you're like, I'm just going to open this son of a gun.
Forget it. We're done.
Yeah.
They're making 20 billion of these. It's not going to sell. It's not going to make me money someday. I'll just open it and display it.
Right.
They also had a Black Series Basil, which is the ferret / mouse / rat thing from the Acolyte.
Everybody wanted a Basil.
There's a Black Series Cassian Andor, and Yak Face has done some research, and not research, but they've done some investigation, and they noticed that it looks like K2SO is the next one based on the side art on the Black Series box. So K2SO will be in season 2, or some sort of KX droid will be in series 2 of Andor. We're also getting a Black Series Deidre Marrow, which is the Imperial FBI thing, Imperial ISB, Security Bureau.
The Curiosity. What was it? Well, I forgot what she said.
They also announced the TVC Thrawn from Ahsoka. You could see on the package that he's got the dad bod, but you could see on the figure that they just reused the Imperial body from the previous releases.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird, but it's still a great figure. And yes, I will be picking that up. TVC Ahsoka the White from Peridia. That one's being released. They also announced the Black Series Ahsoka from Peridia. That one's coming. So it's the Ahsoka the White. They have a Black Series Imperial Armored Commando, which is the kind of the jet trooper, the Mandalorian stormtrooper from Mando Season 3. They also, like you had mentioned before, IG-88 with IG-11, sorry, with Grogu and the Anzalian. They also announced a TVC Cobb Vanth on a deluxe card, so he's going to be coming with more items. That's another one where it's like they have an armor pack from Rise of Skywalker, one of the Sith troopers, and it's just an increased bubble. It's a bigger bubble, but just got more stuff in it. Then they released Mandalorian as a Walmart exclusive with Grogu and one of the alien spiders. But that card back is not just a normal 6x9. It's like a 6x or a 9x9-ish almost. So that's what Cobb Vanth is going to be. But when they go to their dartboard, they're like, what kind of card back do we give this thing? Let's do the Mandalorian with the spider one. TBC Mando and Blurg. And this Blurg.
That looks cool.
This Blurg, they did confirm, will fit inside of the Razor Crest.
That is pretty cool.
So that was designed with that in mind. So they're still supporting that. So hopefully we'll continue to get more aliens for Jawa's sail barge. We'll get more creatures and people for the Razor Crest. We'll get more characters for Rebels for the Ghost. Maybe we'll get one of the puffer pigs.
I'd probably get them if they were cheap enough, or hopefully they wouldn't do them.
Who are you
where
joking here?
Puffer
Everybody
pigs,
listening knows you're just instant buy. Here's my credit card. Take it.
Yeah.
They also announced and they showed this off, the TBC Armor Forge set, which kind of looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that one. It's not a hallway, so I like that one. I like the Endor bunker. It's not a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah. No, I just saw where he had sent me, and I remember you saying, "Hey, I sent you something," and then I saw the Mandalorian thing. I was like, "Damn, he did send that to me."
The TVC pipeline, they showed off Indara from Acolyte, Yord, Deidre Miro. So again, they were using the same sculpt that they had for the Black Series and making it the TVC one. They had distinguished Obi-Wan from the end of the Kenobi show, where he's all in white and he looks at the camera with that smile of his and he enchants us all and says, "Hello there."
Are you gonna buy that one?
Of course.
It's my boyfriend.
Is Obi-Wan's lightsaber blue?
Is it?
Yes.
Oh man, okay. So going back, I'm looking at those pictures, and even the freaking doors on that Mandalorian, the doors like come out of the playset when you
slide open. But when you slide the door open, it does stick out on the side of the
playset. It sticks out of the side of the playset. How cheesy is that? I mean, it's cool that they slide, but damn, come on, Hasbro. Include 2 inches of extra plastic.
Well, that's where you're supposed to connect it.
To what? Another one?
Another playset, yes. I watched the video and it does look cool when you've got 4 of them together, but I'm not spending, how much is it? $60? I'm not spending nearly $200 for 4 of these suckers.
I mean, they're cool diorama sets, but I was going to say you probably could buy some from somebody else, some third party, but probably not.
It does come with a Mandalorian privateer, I think is what
At least they were smart about that and didn't make them like not Boba Fett. Shoot. The Mandalorian, they made him a generic Mando. So when you do buy more of them, you can army build. It's a little bit more inducive to army building.
They also announced TBC Rex from Ahsoka. Anytime they can make a Rex, they're going to make that Rex. I just bought a Rex, and now they're announcing a new Rex. It's like, all right, enough with clones, enough with Mandalorians. Let's get some aliens. Let's get some original trilogy characters. Because I'm in charge. I'm the one that's controlling the toy industry. Hasbro needs to realize this. They need to stop catering to whoever they think they're catering to and start catering to me.
Right.
Don't they know I'm the center of the universe?
They're going to re-release all the action fleet just for you, Jason.
Excuse me? Hello? I didn't know that.
You know that guy on that old faded podcast, Smugglers Galaxy? He really likes Action Fleet.
Hey, I'm under 45. I'm not old. I'm not old, bro. Bet I'm not old.
Oh,
I got
on.
that.
You're even talking like a youngin'.
What's that?
You're like, bet I'm not old.
Bet. Anyways, TVC Maul from Ahsoka. It's the Mandalorian with the Darth Maul horns, which I think they've already released.
They've released that one.
He made an appearance in Ahsoka, so we can just reuse the mold and slap on a new card.
Oh yeah, hold on. It was from the flashback.
Yes. Same thing with the Anakin, which I'm about to get to for Black Series. He's from the flashback, and Rex was from the flashback. So
That's a cool
pipeline
looking
Rex.
Anakin though, but they released that Anakin?
No. Well, in TVC they have. They made a realistic version of what Anakin would look like from the Clone Wars.
But was he de-aged like he was in Ahsoka?
No. Because they didn't need to de-age him. They just used a photo from the times.
Right.
Finally, the last two ones from TVC was Balin's Skull and Shinhati from Ahsoka. Those are now coming to the vintage collection. And then finally, Black Series Pipelines, they showed off Kel Naka, which is the Wookiee from Ahsoka, Moff Gideon from the end of Mandalorian Season 3 when he's in that Darth Maul-looking armor, the shiny jet black one. If it's not gloss, don't waste my time.
Yeah.
It needs to be glossy. The Red Guard from the Mandalorian, the one that's the proto Praetorian guards from The Last Jedi.
Mhm.
Those are coming. Anakin, like you just mentioned from Ahsoka. Rex, like I just mentioned. Clone Commander Bakara from Episode 3. He's the one that kills Ki-Adi-Mundi. That makes sense because they just released the Ki-Adi-Mundi, so maybe they can make a 2-pack and make it a Walmart exclusive. They made another
Walmart, how
droid.
about Target?
Target's done with Star Wars. They made another droid from the Clone Wars, and then Prince Xizor, which we announced that last week. It leaked, and they showed that off. No announcement yet from Savajo Press, which was also another leak.
Mm-hmm.
They only announced Prince Xizor, so I will definitely be getting Prince Xizor. I definitely will be opening that one, and I hope to get a Dash Rendar.
Do you think they'll have his bodyguard?
No. No, that's too much of a deep cut. At this point, I think we'll get lucky if we get Dash Rendar. You can't expect them to get, was it Shuri? Zuri? Guri. Is it Guri? It's one of those. One of those. You
Right.
can just yell in the car that it's one of those.
It's one of the, well, there was a reason why. Kids, if you want to cover your ears.
They have sex.
Yeah, that's why. It's like, will they put that in a toy line?
No. But that's all the reveals from San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of good stuff. I like the play sets, but I feel like we've got to the point where they've shown off everything. Well, there's some good stuff to come, but I kind of want some more big announcements, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, what are you wanting?
I want more Cantina aliens, obviously.
You bought them all. There's none left on the market.
No,
That's
a full bar. There's a lot left they can go for.
Well, they are going back to Tatooine in 2015 or 2025. So
it remains to be seen. We'll see. That's what they say, but we'll see.
you could throw like the 5 Ahsokas that they've made this year into your cantina.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. That's not gonna happen. But yeah, that's a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. San Diego Jazzware is just the bad stuff, I guess, because they didn't announce anything new, and I just worry about the health of that line.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm gonna buy that Ghost. I knew that auction was coming for eBay, so I didn't buy the Ghost yet, but I think I'll be buying it in the next couple of weeks. I'm not gonna.
You think you're just gonna spend the $60 on it?
Yeah, because Narayan's been showing off his interior, and I'm like, oh, I just want to open one.
I'm getting nervous about it myself because I'm not seeing them at Targets. Either Targets hasn't put them out yet or they've already sold.
Right,
but
which makes me think we need to buy them when we see them.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to buy one because I thought that there was gonna be a lot more available, and maybe they got smart and only shipping a couple. So maybe I'll just say F it and buy one. I don't know.
No announcements for the Stranger from Acolyte.
That's the other thing I don't get. Why? I mean, they gave us a Basil, but they're not going to give us a Stranger.
No retro announcements, no retro collection announcements.
Oh, Hasbro.
So
Let's give us figures we don't want. And don't give us the figures we do.
Let's.
Thanks, Hasbro. Yeah. Is there any you want to do a dad joke, or do you want to do what else? Is there any more to talk about?
Are you going to wrap up the show?
I don't know. Is there more we could talk? I mean, we could talk about. Well, no, I've got stuff to talk about.
Oh, we'll talk.
Well, no, I wanted to just make it.
No, talk about what you want to talk about. Don't talk about what you want to talk about talking about it.
I will talk about it right now. So I watched Back to the Future the other night because we were watching it, and I was surprised how good that movie's held up. Because even though you know what's going to happen, you're like, boy, I sure hope Doc can climb the clock tower in time.
It's a perfect movie.
It just, you're sitting there on the edge of your seat being, I hope Marty makes it back. Will he make it back? And then he makes it back, and you're like, even though you've seen it dozens of times.
Perfect timeless movie.
Beautiful movie. And I had watched it in 2 parts because it was, you're like, oh, what are we going to watch? And it's Back to the Future trilogy is is back on Netflix. So we had watched it, and then it got to a point where it was just, we were tired and went to bed. And then about halfway through it, and then I picked up the other half a couple of I think Friday night. And I realized, yeah, like you were saying, perfect movie. It doesn't feel like there's a lull in the middle of the movie like every other movie has, where there's a lull and then all of a sudden you got to pick up the action again. I don't remember them having that in Back to the Future. It's just like, boom, let's get it done,
Yeah, everybody was firing on all cylinders, and the right people came together at the right time to make the right movie.
Yeah, it was a beautiful bunch of movies. And I am your density.
My density has popped me to you. What? Oh, what I meant to say was, my density has brought me to you. Hey, do I know you from somewhere? Yes. Yes, I'm George McFly. I'm your density. I mean, I'm your destiny. Anyways.
My wife, because we were watching it, my wife, I started to like quote it, and she was like, don't, that's more annoying than the subtitles. Yeah, I'm like, well, and then like when they're doing that, when the DeLorean is announced, and he goes, wait, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, and she just looks at me, she's like, just say it. Just say it.
I got all my replicas from that.
Yeah, I got a really cool Back to the Future shirt, but I'm saving it for next weekend. So everybody that's close to Georgia, next weekend we have the
Broke.
Oh no. The bag broke that was glued together. Just glue it back together, man.
Yeah, I'll just glue it back together. I'm a handy guy.
So next Saturday, which is the 3rd of August, correct? I think. Let me look at my calendar one time.
It is. Moving
August, huh? You're good?
It is.
August 3rd, they have the Powder Springs show at Treasure Hunt Antiques. And then there is Hammer Con or Legion Con at the American Legion in Smyrna. So 2 really good toy shows. So definitely a pretty amazing weekend in toyness. And I think AVT may be doing a yard sale on the other side of town. So 3 opportunities for some really cool yard sale stuff next weekend. Some good shopping. I'm sorry, the yard sale, the lead, Treasure Hunt.
No, Treasure Hunt.
Treasure Hunt Antique and Legion Con are only like 20, 30 minutes apart. So you can go to the Treasure Hunt Antique Mall and then leave and then go have something to eat at Legion Con and then do some toy shopping. So that's what I think we're going to do next weekend. Should be a pretty fun, full weekend of toy shopping.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Are you going to make it? You're going to at least come to the toy hunt, right?
I'll be going to Powder Springs.
Powder Springs.
I don't know about Legion Con. You're not exhibiting, right? You're not the
No, we're not doing anything at Legion Con.
Table.
It's bigger than the other one.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. It depends. I need to see what's going on. I got a better balance after Rogue Fun. I got to balance family and Star Wars. So
you know what's awesome about not having kids?
You don't have to balance Star Wars and family.
Anything.
Congratulations, you win.
Or kids living with me. Let me rephrase that. Kids living with me.
I'm sure it's going to be fine, but I just want to make sure I have that asterisk that maybe I won't. But yeah, I mean, that's just part of collecting in general is just balancing things out. Sometimes I feel like I go too far with, when we were talking, we went down memory lane. Was it last episode, the previous one? And when I first moved down here, it was important for me. I had just gone to my first Empire meetup up in New
Right.
York State, and then I moved down here, and it's not easy to move to a brand new state and have culture shock and not know anybody. So the first thing I did was trying to find a Star Wars club so I could start meeting people. And it was important to find friends when I moved down here.
Right. And now
But
you have friends.
but I don't want to neglect my children.
Yeah. Well, you've got one that's on her way to college and one that's fixing to be on his way to college and one that's,
One that's in college but is moving out in 2 weeks.
oh, it's that soon?
It's that soon, and so within the next month or two, I'll have a new office. I'll put my computer in there. Won't have to use the background that I'm using because I'll have some cool office and I'll have some cool lighting effects, and I'm just gonna wave my hands around because you're not paying any attention to the background.
It'll be great because I can do this now.
I can do this. My wife could sleep in so I could record on a Saturday morning.
Right. Although I did enjoy like sleeping into like 8:30, 9 o'clock and not being like, oh my God, I got to record. But then I missed you.
Aw.
Oh,
I had to go down. So what happened yesterday, the reason why we didn't record on Saturday was that my daughter had put her name in with Power 105.1.3. I don't know. I didn't pay that close of attention. For a pair of Taylor Swift tickets, all expenses paid, hotel stuff, to Miami to see her in that venue during the Eras tour, which is in a couple of weeks. It's in October. She put her name in and she qualified to go to the next round, which was this listening party where they would randomly pick a number and they would give the tickets away. And so they said, congratulations, we'll see you. She started looking at the rules and guidelines, and she realized that she's not over 21, which is an important thing.
right.
But she said, well, it says here that you have to be 21, which I'm not. However, it also says that the person who's qualified is the person who owns the phone and the phone number, which is me.
Oh,
So she was able to swap things out.
yeah.
So we get down there and I had to show off my ID, and you pick some. So the whole contest was you could win $105,000 and potentially Taylor Swift tickets. Those are two different things. So they make you sign in and you put down a 6-digit code. And then they read off that code as you enter in this little safe thing, the code. And you press the pound button. And if it opens, you get to keep the $105,000. If it doesn't, then nobody gets to keep the money. And then they just do the random thing. So I didn't win the $105,000, unfortunately. That would have been awesome.
Right.
But then when it came time to win the tickets, it was one of those where they rip the tickets in half, you throw in a fishbowl, and then they announced the first three numbers, which was like 367, and I had 367, and they announced 368, and I knew right away, like, we're out.
Yeah.
Somebody beyond the 368 got the ticket, and they won. So we didn't win, but she did win. She did win Taylor Swift trivia. She won some vinyl
Oh,
record.
nice. At least
So
she
that was
walked away
pretty
with
cool.
something.
She walked away with something. And I knew when she picked that up, I'm like, we're not winning the tickets because she won the vinyl.
But did she have to have the what's it called? She didn't. All she had to do was win the shoot trivia. She didn't. Her ticket wasn't picked to win.
No, she didn't win the tickets. So I booked it as fast as I could. You could see the dust trail behind me as I ran out of that place. I'm like, we're done. Because I was there for 2 hours.
Oh my God. Did they have like hors d'oeuvres or anything or donuts?
It was in the Chattahoochee Works place, which is almost like the Marietta Square food thing. It's like one of these buildings where they just fit it out with a bunch of restaurants, a bunch of just bars.
Right.
And so it's like that. And then there was a mall section. So we had lunch. It was a good time with my daughter. We had lunch. They brought in an events group to make 4 rooms that looked like Taylor Swift videos. I don't know.
Right. It
Very
was
smooth.
cool for her, and you got to have a cool moment. So that's awesome.
Exactly. So let's play some Taylor Swift trivia, Glenn.
Okay.
What
Oh,
is
Lord.
what
Here
is
we
Taylor
go.
Swift's middle name?
Janet.
Allison. I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Damn.
That's 0 for 1. What TV show did Taylor Swift make an appearance on?
Hold on. I know this one because she was like a unknown artist at the time. It was some Disney Plus show, some Disney show, like Hannah Montana.
She was in the Hannah Montana movie, but she was also in
Okay.
CSI.
Ooh, did she play a dead body?
No, she played someone. She
Okay.
didn't play a dead body though. She played a
See, I
person.
knew something. I was wrong, but I knew something.
And it's not a borough. What do you call what village does Taylor Swift live in New York City?
Um, what is that village with all the artists in it?
Oh, you're
Uh,
circling it, I think.
I'm circling it, but it's going down the drain. Greenwich.
No, it's Tribeca.
Okay.
I don't know if it's called a village. It's not Greenwich Village. It's not a borough though, because there's 5 boroughs: Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan. But it's a little section of New York City, I guess.
Okay.
But you wouldn't have won the vinyl. That's where we're going with this. I'm sorry.
Is that the only questions they had? Like not
Those
who
are the
Taylor
questions they
Swift?
asked my daughter.
Okay. And she
And
knew them all.
it's I'm starting to realize like I remembered those questions for some reason.
It wasn't like who's Taylor Swift dating?
No,
That's too easy, isn't it?
that's Kelsey Travis.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting this year. I'm kind of persuaded, even though I love the Eagles, I'm persuaded to kind of go with the Chiefs because it'd be interesting to see a team win 3 in a row. No team has ever done that before.
Yeah. Hey, I've done it on Madden.
Oh, I'm sorry. I take it back. Someone has done it before. The glory of Glenn. He has won the Super Bowl 3 times single-handed.
Hey, you know what a Falcons fan does after they win the Super Bowl?
Well, they don't win, so
They turn off the PlayStation.
oh, there it is. There it is.
And also, what did the Mandalorian say when he showed Grogu how to dance?
This is the way.
This is the sway.
Oh. It's horrible.
That's like the first one you've chuckled at,
Because it's horrible.
isn't it? Why are droids so expensive to own?
I don't know.
They charge a lot.
Good Lord.
All right, last one. What do you call droid siblings?
Roger.
Transistors.
Gosh.
That's from
Wow.
the Star Wars dad joke book by
Wow.
Kelly Cox.
Wow,
No, yes,
that's
Kelly
weird.
Knox. Do not buy the book.
Well, we're past halfway point of the year, so I thought I would just bring this up real quick. Our bingo card.
Yes. How are we
La-
doing on the bingo card?
Not well. You got 2. Lando will start filming. I don't even think Donald Glover has finished writing that thing. He's got a new movie coming out, but he hasn't finished the Lando movie, was it, or is it a TV show?
Yeah, and there's rumors that Community's supposed to be filming a movie too.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. 6
I need
seasons
to-
in a movie.
I need to rewatch that show because I really enjoyed that show, and then life got in the way.
Retro Haslab. That doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Retro Haslab of what?
The
Retro
Haslab of the
Haslab.
retro collection.
Dude, you never know. Hasbro could just be like, here, spend more money.
Jason gets a Star Wars tattoo, which
Hey, Glenn got a Star Wars tattoo.
yeah,
Maybe
but
I
that's
should have done
not
that.
what we said here.
All right.
Yes, and it's Tuesday. Glenn got a tattoo, and it is Tuesday.
Yes. That's about right.
Mandalorian filmed at Disneyland in Batu. George Lucas comes back to direct Star Wars. We've got all those wrong so far. Retro Blue Snaggletooth announced. That hasn't happened. Price reduction for Hasbro action figures. I mean, I don't see that ever happening, but if it does, it's on the bingo card. Black Series hits $40 with no extras. I think we're at 27 still. Hasbro will lose the Star Wars license. It's not a big money maker for them, I would imagine, but it's enough money where they can tell their shareholders, we've got the Star Wars line.
Yeah.
It's just a feather in their cap. It's not really a passion project. The return of Mace Windu, which we got closed because Samuel L. Jackson was talking about it, but nothing's really come of it.
Mm.
A new Disney Plus series announced. We got that one with Tales of the Empire. That one just dropped. Sabine gets a spin-off, which
that would have been great.
That would have been great. That's not happening. John Williams returns to Star Wars. Luke and Leia will be recast for the Mando series. Galaxy's Edge ride announced. We still have D23 coming up in August, so keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Wilbur Hood will make an appearance. Disney Plus movie announced. Star Cruiser announced at D23, or what they intend to do with the Star Cruiser will be announced at D23.
Right.
Retro Collection X-Wing. That hasn't been announced yet. I'm saying that like I know it'll be announced, but I don't know. I was hoping that they would announce a Retro Collection X-Wing. Jeez.
That would have, I mean, the closest thing we got is Micro Galaxy Squadron.
Hanukkah Sisters will come to TVC.
Did we already scratch that one off?
Yes, we got that one. Galaxy's Edge restaurant announced. Farm Boy Luke comes to TVC.
Ding, 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 ding.
Got that one. He's coming 2025. He's pipelined. So we got 3. Micro Galaxy Squadron will end after Series 5. Unfortunately, at San Diego Comic-Con, they officially announced Series 6, so that's wrong.
And they're already out in stores, right?
Yeah. And then we also have Black Series will hit $40 with extras. So we have $40 with no extras and $40 with extras just to cover our bases. You know, it's the $40 that's important.
Do that? Why? Are you sure you wrote that down right?
It says it right there.
Oh my God.
Black Series, $40, no extra. Black Series will hit $40 with extras.
That was crap, Jason.
So was Jason gets a Star Wars tattoo. You just wasted a square. Don't tell me that's crap. At least we're trying to cover our bases.
Right. Well, I thought it'd be funny. I thought it would be funny to put one down and see what you said. And
I mean, it's like putting Lando will start filming, and then the next square, Lando will not start filming. We're covering our bases.
Oh. George Lucas will not direct any more Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. George is coming back. George says he's not coming back. We got it covered. The square is going to work. At least half of it will get filled out.
Right. And next year is Celebration in 25, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Which I'm waiting for the end of. Maybe I shouldn't say this.
Say it.
Nobody listens to us. I'm waiting until the end of Celebration to see what they're going to do. If they're going to do a 2027 Celebration, which I anticipate they will in time for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah. And I have to what are we going to announce, Jason? What are you going to say? What are you going to say, Jason?
Announce anything. I just want to make a decision about Rogue Fun 2 if we do that after Celebration.
Right.
To see what they're doing for the 50th so I can plan around it.
Star Wars 2.
If I decide to do it.
If you decide. Rogue Fun 2, Electric Boogaloo.
And people start sending money to the P.O. box that I've set up. And you can bribe me to start planning Rogue Fun 2.
Oh, I can, yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
I don't think so. Nothing fun's happened. I'm thinking what happened at San Diego Comic-Con, but it was nothing really other than stuff. There was no other really awesome stuff.
Do you listen to the podcast after we release it?
Every now and again, yes. Why?
Well, when you do, I'd just like to say thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, it really helps us out and points people to our show. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. send us an email or message us. We love feedback. We love to make you part of the show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People, collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Sabine will be on next week. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community.
This is the way.